Okay. We're gonna keep at it. I wasn't unable to finish what we did earlier, so we're back right into it. So, this is what we're up to today. We're making an orchid pot. I just ran out of steam putting the holes in, so we're trying it again, you know? And then we have 3 more of these. We have another one of these, and then 2 more that are not like this, but are still gonna be orchid pots. How are you? What's new? What's happening? What's going on? Tell me everything. Yeah, I was getting a little burnt out earlier. Dima, how are you? Well, you know if it's choppy over on YouTube, I wanted to try one more time before just not doing it anymore over there for a bit. Oh, what are you making? Tell me everything. Chalices. What's the what sparked chalices for you? I'm all for it. But is it a commission or like what's the deal? Oh, that sounds lovely. Will you send me a message of the? I'd love to see the color of it. Thanks, Beck. Appreciate you. We're getting there. We're making progress. Slowly but steadily. Oh yeah, his are pretty awesome. His stuff's really sweet in general. Super nice dude. How was that? You should definitely get one. I have 2 of his pieces, I think. 2 of his cups. From eons ago, like when he first was really getting into the flashing, so um, they're not nearly as intense as his newer stuff. I love the new stuff, by the way, but I just don't have any reason to buy more at this point. Hi, hi. You know what I mean? There's only so many pots I can have. Though I just made an entire new cabinet, so I have another whole section of pottery, potentially pottery, whatever. Well, you know what I mean. Awesome. Wait, who else do you know on the tour? Brian, this thing is big. I don't think we're gonna do as complex a style on the next one, the next couple, or maybe we will. I don't know. I I don't know. Pat, how are you? Will you tell me if the cellular is choppy over on YouTube? Because if it gets too choppy, I'm just gonna just end it all over there for the week. I just want to give it one more chance. See if today was a little bit better. Hmm. Nice. Nice. All solid people. That's awesome. That seems like such a good tour. I wish I was closer so I could actually go to it. But that is not close-ish. The last haven't been? Oh, have been. Yes. I know. That's why I haven't been here as much. It's not that bad right now, Brian? Okay, cool. I'm kind of yeah. Yeah. Okay, if it starts getting choppy, please let me know. Someone else's idea. So this was pattern came apart about when we were starting to do clouds. I think Sydney's idea was clouds, and then they ended up not being clouds at all. Okay. I might end the YouTube one pretty soon then. But anyway, I really like it. This is my favorite double wall pattern we've come up with so far. So I would like to do it more. Thanks, Darren. I'm really excited about it too. I hope that it looks good with an orchid coming out of it, you know? Gotcha. Ugh. Sorry, Pat. Thanks, Lou. Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm so happy with it. Huh. I can see that actually. I can totally see that. I would never have put that together, Darren, but I totally see that. It does have that same kind of flowiness. Huh. I'm gonna have to go stare at his pots or his sculptures when this thing is finished and put them next to each other. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Pat. I hope it all works out, you know? We'll see. We will see. This is going to be in my next firing in a couple weeks, so we won't have to wait long to see if it actually works or not. Totally. Exactly, Mackenzie. Yeah, I think it stemmed from Sydney's suggestion. Or maybe it was I don't know who suggested this first. Yeah, you get real patient as a potter, eh? He sure does. I always say you're really busy from every time I talk to you. It looks like you're doing great. Oh, hell yeah. 100% octopus vibes. I really think this would be a very cool luminary as well. Nice. That's awesome. Oh yeah? Good on ya. That's what I like to hear. Hell yeah, Lou. Wait, I want to wait. Have you showed me your tattoo, Mackenzie? I feel like you have. You have, right? Yes. I feel like I've seen your octopus. could be wrong though. Yeah, right. It's not, definitely not. Yeah, gotcha. Later, Pat. Thanks, Alexander. Oh my God, everybody's so nice today. Everybody's always nice. Cool. Yeah, I think this is a really cool. There's a really cool potential style here. I'm really enjoying this. This is like my favorite cutout pattern we've done. Excuse me, I'll eat a protein bar because I forgot to eat today. I try, Lou. The glass would just melt. I'm firing much too hot for glasses. It would just run. I think you're probably wanting it to be like stuck inside, right, Kyle? Glass melts at a very low temperature. Um, it would just kind of like seep through this thing. Though we could, so I'm not going to be taking out a lot of the holes. Like some of the ones that don't go all the way through. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate it. And so we're going to have kind of that effect a little bit. But, all right, we're almost done with this one. So glaze is glass, essentially, right? And so it'll have that same look regardless. So if I just make the glaze thick. No, it's not. This is just a single walled orchid pot. The double walled ones didn't work. I don't know if you remember, we made them a couple months ago, and they were cool, but they did not work. They were with the shrinkage and everything, and it just didn't work. So I just went single walled this time. Yeah, the smaller one, they shrank too much. It's a 14.25% shrinkage rate. I was able to find one orchid that was big, small enough to actually go in there, and it died after 2 months, so, or a month or whatever. It did not last long. Someone tried to buy it from me, but I wanted to test it first to make sure it actually worked, and so I told her that she wasn't allowed to buy it because it did not work. I did appreciate her asking though, and trying to buy it from me. But I'm not going to sell a shoddy product, you know? This, though, should work. I don't have any doubt in my mind. The only thing that might happen that might not like is that this is a lot of open space on porcelain getting fired to cone. Well, no, this will be only cone 10. It's not going to get hotter than cone 10. And so it might not warp crazily, but if this closes in on itself, as long as it doesn't close in a crazy amount, we'll be fine. If it closes in a ton, I don't know how practical it'll be. Thank you, Mackenzie. You got to keep playing, you know? What I will say though, it's really fun to keep playing and doing things, and I actually don't know where I was going with this. I was about to say that people who consume and buy pottery a lot of the time, they really like a stability in what you're doing, but That actually hasn't been the case for me because I've always been changing my style over the years. Like every month, couple months, I decide to do something completely different. It's all kind of stemmed from the same stuff, but it changes. Um, so I lied. Never mind. Very true. I mean, I feel like that makes sense for atmospheric work. I feel like you're not gaining anything if you're necessarily just doing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, it would be a hell of a lot easier if this was slightly firmer. This is too soft for what we're doing. But I should just get onto the other ones that we're working on. But I feel um, I just feel like finishing this one. How'd you know that, Edward? I knew you would subscribe over there. Yeah, it's good to have that scarcity mindset. But yeah, it would be a hell of a lot easier to do what I'm doing if this was harder. Um, I'm just being stubborn. And again, we have 3 more of these. Well, one more that's like this. Oh my God, Edward. Yeah, I profit about $20 every 7 months over there. Pretty good stuff. I'd probably do better if I was slightly more attractive, but you know, this guy over here. Can you believe this? You guys can't even see what's happening. It's all good. Okay. I think that's it. Thoughts, concerns? Thanks, Kyle. Melissa, what's good? Thanks, Lou. Appreciate you. All right, so I think the next thing I'm gonna do is nothing. I was gonna say I'm gonna wet the whole thing with with a wet sponge, but I'm not gonna be taking out some of the holes. And if I do that, then they're gonna kind of seep back in. So if I sand it later with a Scotch-Brite pad instead, we're gonna have a better time. So I'm just gonna get rid of some holes that are too clumped together in some areas. What's up, Julia? You guys see my That's super cool. I like that concept. Someone was saying it was very over on YouTube was saying it's very similar to my grandfather's sculptures, which is a cool kind of like thing that I never really thought of. Sure am, Kyle. I sketched out a pattern, and then I'm kind of very loosely following the pattern that I sketched out to do the holes. But it's more about feeling on this one and experimentation. I don't want to get globbed into some kind of rigidity of a boxed, for like a, you know, I have to follow a rule of aesthetics for something. That'd be a bummer. Okay. I think exactly. Thank you, Lou. So, we had some suggestions for the other one. Brian wanted to do this, but only the bottom half, and then, but still have the drawings, and then have it leopardy printed. So he was saying like we do half of it, and then the top half isn't, but then I carve the line in. And then someone else was talking about like a beehive pattern. Do either of those things sound pleasant? For the other idea, Kyle, it would be the same shape kind of, but just the bottom section. I'll blend whatever. You guys tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Let me grab the next one. All right. So I'm going to cut out the hole, which will be where the orchid comes out of, and then we'll go for the pattern. So any pattern ideas that anybody has in here, let's talk about them. So many choices. I mean, I really like the pattern we just did. We can do that again. Does anybody have something they want to see more than others? Can you say that again, Amanda? I don't quite understand. I'm not sure I understand, Kyle. I like I like where you're going. I just don't think I don't quite grasp what you're asking. Like that? Is that what you're talking about? 60-degree angle. '90 is here, right? So 60 would be like there, right? Is that what you're talking about? Oh yeah, it's just a vase that I threw and I cut a hole in it. I think it would, Kyle. I don't think I have the patience for it. That one we just did took me like 2 hours. So like it's more written down. Are we are we still thinking as of a like I love this concept as an art piece where it kind of like comes in or whatever. But I don't know if I mean it defeats the whole an open door. I'm clearly not. I'm too tired to figure this out. I do like the concept of it just being like an offset door or an offset piece. Even like that as a vase that we then reattach. But for the sake of an orchid pot, I don't. Yeah, I'm clearly not getting it tonight. So I've seen sort of what you're talking about to a degree, but I think it requires less of a form and more of a, like, to be able to put it back in backwards and stuff like that, or is that completely off of what you're saying? The other one was kind of like a dress, wasn't it, Kyle? Like a lacy dress. I don't really want to do squares. I mean, I don't know if do we want to just do the same thing? I do like this one a lot. This is the last one like this. I'm willing to be a lot more experimental on the next two because they're not sake bottle forms. But I'm also, again, yeah, I think we might just go for the same kind of look. But what I think I'm going to do is add texture with some cryptomeria before we do it, and then make Amanda, why don't we do the moons and stars on the planter, the other one? I don't like it enough to do it on this, I'll be honest. I'm gonna go grab some texture material. One sec. All right, so this is dried Japanese cedar. So I'm just gonna add a bunch of texture if I can. This might be too dry. I might not even be able to do this. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is draw the lines that we're going to do to carve, poke the holes into. And then I'm going to draw these in a little deeper than the other ones because I'm going to leave these ones as a constant. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. I like this a lot. Oh, I think that's, yes, that does make sense, but I think that's going to take a lot more planning than I have the energy to do tonight. I do so. Kyle over on YouTube was saying those, you know, those cool shadow pictures where everything's like little dots and it creates a bigger painting. Um, he was saying doing something like that, and I love that concept, but there's no way that I'm going to map that out tonight. I love the ambitiousness to it. And again, I'm game for all these things, but that has to be like we sit down and that is what we're doing. We have two more to do. We're doing one that's moons and stars. 100%, Amanda. We're doing it. Don't you worry. And then the last one's still up for or grabs on what we want to do stylistically to it. So I don't know if I told you guys, but I made so many compacts. I made a crab. I made a fox. I made a weird animal thing. I made two like sculptural things. Um, no, it's happening, Amanda. There's no you. It's happening regardless if you're here or not. It's gonna happen. You mean so they come? It comes outward. That's an interesting concept. Would it be more advantageous to push them from the inside out when we're working with slightly lesser, um, like slightly softer clay, or would it make more sense to do that, as you're kind of suggesting, as lugs on the outside? Hmm. Cool. Yeah, let's try it. This clay is too firm for that, but I'm definitely game to try. I think the other two will be too firm for that as well, but this is not going to be the last planter I'm making, so Hold on, my buddy just texted me saying the moon looks crazy right now. Let me just look outside real quick. I can't see the moon from this angle. I need to be in my apartment. I have not. What is a pebble bowl? Is it a bowl for pebbles? I mean, I love the moon. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying anything about it. And are we talking about crescent? So we're talking about crescent moons or something like that. So it's just like a thing. Yeah. Or are we talking about like just a circle with some craters in it? What are we talking about when we say moon? I need to mentally prepare for our next undertaking. Okay. That's what I was hoping you were going to say because I wasn't sure how to do it otherwise. Oh, a dream catcher would be cool. You got some great ideas, Kyle. That sounds cool. I'm game to give it a try. Give it a whirl. How do I intersect these properly? What do we think of that first one? There, Kyle. I'm doing this one slightly different than our last one. Kind of in the same vein, but this one will go quicker. What I'm realizing though, it's too late. I'm at that point of the night where I need to sit down every few minutes and then keep working. So I'm gonna head off for now. I'm gonna do your stars and crescent moons maybe tonight, Amanda, but maybe I'll come back for that one. But I need to just chill for a second. This is too many holes. Bye, Lou. Great seeing you. Bye, Amanda. Bye, everyone.